Hello, I'm Melissa Chesney, Qual Choice Enrollment Manager. I would like to give you a quick tour of our new My Account, access for employers and brokers. During this video, I will show you how to search for existing membership, order ID cards, print temporary ID cards, and process new enrollment easily online. Let's start at qualchoice.com. If you were previously issued a user ID, simply enter your user ID and password in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. For all new users, please watch this training video. Instructions for how to receive a user ID and password will be provided at the end of the video. So let's begin. From qualchoice.com, we will simply enter our user ID and password. Once you've entered your user ID and password, the group homepage will appear. The group homepage will show you information about the group. For those of you who are brokers, the homepage will display your information as well. So we can see the group's name, address, phone number, and the number of subgroups set up for this group's billing. In the lower section of the screen, you will find contact information for Qual Choice. Let's begin by performing a member search. In order to search for a member, simply click on Manage Members and Member Search. The search criteria box will appear. You may enter the member's Qual Choice ID number, their Social Security number, or their name. For a more advanced search, include their city, birth date, state, or zip code. We will search by simply entering a first and last name. Once you've entered the criteria, simply click the search button. For the name Mary member, there was one record found in the search results. We see that Mary has a birth date of 11/15/71 and her status is active. This means that as of today's date, Mary is eligible for benefits. To view more information about Mary, simply click on the subscriber ID number, which is also a link. From here, we will find personal information about Mary, and you'll notice over to the right that at any time you may edit this information. If we scroll down in the page, there are benefits for Mary so that we can see she is currently enrolled in a medical plan and a pharmacy plan. As of today's date, she is covered by the Integrated Core Plan. If Mary's coverage were terminated, you would find that information displayed here under the termination date. If Mary's plan required the selection of a primary care physician, that information would be listed here. And if Mary's plan had other health coverage, that information would be listed at the bottom of the screen. Let's see if we can find an example. At any time, you may view Mary's dependents by clicking Change Member, and from here you will see a list of all of Mary's dependents who have been covered by the plan. Simply click on the dependent you wish to view, and you will notice that their information is now displayed under Personal Information, as well as benefits. We can see that for Mary's spouse Glenn, he actually has other coverage. He has Medicare Part A and B as a secondary coverage with an effective date of July 1st, 2016, and Medicare is secondary as of today. Notice there is no term date listed for this other health coverage. At this time, we will now move on and order an ID card for Mary. To order ID card, there are two ways to do this. From Member Search, you can simply click the Order ID Card button. And for here, it'll show Medical Plan. Simply click the Order ID Card. And we find that our request has been received. 2 new cards will be mailed within 7 to 10 business days. And if additional copies are needed, you can simply go back and request another set. You'll find a transaction number for your request. And from this page, you'll be able to print a temporary card. Simply click the Print Temporary Cards button and the card will be displayed. You may from here print or download the temporary card. At this time, we'll return to the member information page. One other thing to point out is if you don't want to actually order a card, just need a temporary card, you can simply click the Print Temporary Card button and the temporary card will be displayed. The other way to order ID cards would simply be go back to Group Home, click on the Order ID Card link, select your member, click again Order ID Card, and you see the same result. ID cards will be mailed within 7 to 10 business days, and again you have the option to print a temporary card. At this time we will process new enrollment. Simply click on Enrollment and choose New Enrollment. The first section, you will notice the group name. For those who are group administrators, the group name will be auto-populated. For those who are brokers, from the drop-down, select the group for whom you wish to enroll the member. Next, we need to select a subgroup. So from the drop-down, choose the appropriate subgroup for this member. Next, we need to select a class. From the drop-down, choose the appropriate class for this member. You will notice all fields with a red asterisk are denoted as required fields, so you must complete data for these fields. If we move on down in the page under Qualifying Event, this is where we will select the event that qualifies this employee to be enrolled into the plan. So for our example, we will choose new hire. Okay, now we need to enter the date of hire, and you can simply type that date in or use the calendar provided. We'll say that our employee was hired on July 25th, and they also completed their application for coverage on the same date, July 25th. Once all the required fields are completed, simply click the Continue button. Okay, so now we're going to enter information specific to the employee. You'll notice that date of hire has been pre-populated, so enter the employee's first name, middle initial is optional, and last name. Title is an optional field. Social Security number is a required field. Date of birth is a required field. And again, you can either enter the date of birth or use the calendar to select the date of birth. That's just a personal preference. Marital status, language is required field, and then gender. So once all of the required fields are completed, simply click Continue. Okay, at this point, if the employee has dependents that they would like to add, simply click the Add Dependent button and enter information for each dependent. Once all dependents are listed in the grid, simply click Continue. Now we need to assign an address. Simply click the Add Address button and enter the address information. You'll also want to enter a phone number and an email address. Once those fields are completed, simply click Save Changes, and that information will be displayed here in the grid. If you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll notice that Chris R. Robin has a home address of 768 Happy Lane in Little Rock, and also a mailing address of 768 Happy Lane. If for some reason Chris resides at one address but wishes for his mail to be sent to another address, that's no problem. Simply click the Address button again and enter the second address. And again, if there's an alternate phone number, you can enter that information as well. Once all the information has been saved, at the bottom of the screen, you'll want to assign the mailing address as the address type 1. So now you can see that Chris has a home address of 768 Happy Lane, but he wishes for all of his mail to go to 567 Pershing Road. Once that's complete, simply click Continue. At this point, we will select the plan that the member has elected. You'll notice number 1 is medical, and so you will choose the appropriate plan that the member selected for their medical option. So we're going to choose Integrated Core, and you'll notice when I mark the radio button that here the Accept Decline flag was flipped to Accept. So if we were to go back and choose Basic or Decline, you'll notice that that changed. But we want to enroll this member in the Core Medical Plan. If you scroll down in the screen for pharmacy, they have one plan selection, and anyone who's enrolled in a medical plan should also be enrolled in a pharmacy plan. If you scroll further in the screen, you'll see all other products that this employer offers to their employees. So we see that this employee is offered a vision product, and at this time they've decided to decline that product. So we will mark Decline. Once all the required fields have been selected, which are again noted by the red asterisk, simply click the Continue button. At this point, the system will bring you to the summary page, and the summary page allows you to review all of the information that you've input. It also allows you the opportunity to edit this information prior to submitting to QualChoice. So you'll notice under each section, Employee, you can see all the information that was entered. Employment, so information about the group, subgroup, event date, effective date. If you scroll down, you can view the address information. So keep in mind we set up a home address and a separate mailing address for Chris Robin. Keep scrolling, you'll see the plan selection. So he selected a medical plan that will be effective September 1st, 2016. Also selected a pharmacy plan that will be effective that same date. And then for the vision product, he declined coverage for that product, and therefore there's no effective date listed. If you are enrolling someone due to a qualifying event, while we no longer require the enrollment application, we do still require that you submit to us the supporting documentation for qualifying events. So for an example, if you were bringing someone onto the plan due to loss of coverage, we would expect documentation of that coverage, and you could scan that documentation and attach it here within the portal. So once you've reviewed and confirmed that everything was entered correctly and attached your supporting documents, simply click the Complete Enrollment button. If for some reason you want to go back and look at a previous page, simply click the Back button. So at this time we will complete enrollment. The system now brings us to the confirmation page. The confirmation page contains a reference number. I strongly recommend that you either print or save this summary of enrollment with the reference number for future questions. One feature that we've added to our portal is you can click the button here, and that will allow you to then download a summary of the enrollment that you've processed, including the reference number. So it may be that this is the page you want to print or save. It will contain your reference number as well as all of the information that you've input into the system. So at this point, we will go back to new enrollment, and we can return to the main page. At this time, I will explain how to receive a user ID and password. Please visit qualchoice.com. From the Employers or Brokers section, select Using My Account. From the Using My Account page, click Fill Out My Account Training Certificate. Complete the certificate including a valid email address. Please keep in mind the email address provided will be your user ID. Submit the My Account Training Certificate to QualChoice. You will receive a confirmation email including account creation within 24 hours. For more information or questions concerning My Account, please contact the QualChoice Enrollment Department at 501-228-7111, extension 7013, or we may also be reached by email at qca_enrollment@qualchoice.com. This concludes our training video. Thank you for joining.